Rubber roof, two-part gutter trim. This is Perma roof two-part gutter trim. Now I'm going to show you how to fix it and to clip it in, because I know some of you are struggling, and as the months get colder now, it's going to become even more of a struggle for you. And Jimmy might, I know he's on our group, so if you're watching this, Jimmy, you might want to input on this as well if I'm doing it wrong compared to what you do, because I know you do loads of these, and I think you said you did 80 this year alone already. Anyway, two-part gutter trim. There is the first part of the two-part gutter trim. This is going to fix to the fascia. What's going to happen is I'm going to pull this rubber back like that. I'm going to fix it to the fascia there. And then what will happen then, that rubber will go over there, the rubber will be trimmed off, and then the second part of the gutter trim will pop into there, clip into there, and then that will create the gutter trim, the rainfall. What am I thinking? What am I talking about? What will it create, Jem? It'll allow the drip tray for the rain. So we're going to use 60mm screws. Right, the roof is obviously already rubbered. You might want to screw these on the floor, but what I'm doing, I've just put a piece of timber up so that I don't go through the trim and into the rubber roof, because obviously any kind of penetration of this type is not good.
So where are you screwing into there?
So what I'm screwing into is there's a line in the middle of it there on the Perma trim, and that's where I'm going to fit the screw, because once that screw goes in there like that, I'll send this one right through. Once that screw's gone in there, it will then sit in there, and then the second part of the gutter trim will fly over the top of that. So obviously that little recess there is for that screw. So like I say, I'll put on a bit of timber so there's no risk of me going through into the rubber, because like I say, any kind of penetration at all is not good. Unless it's date night. Right, okay, so I'm putting them about 400 or 500 apart. I mean, I don't know what the manufacturers recommend, but this works for us, no problem at all. I'm not going to screw one right near the end. I'm going to screw one just a little bit near the end.
Why?
Because I don't want it to split the plastic, because it's so close to the end.
It's like a thermal thing that's in your doors.
It does look like that, yeah. So, but obviously the strength of it is there, because if I screw through there's no strength there, and it will collapse that in. Whereas obviously there's more plastic there on that ridge, and it's the strength that will hold it from collapsing in. So that's my first bit there. I've got my screws all ready. Now, just going to move this one out of Jen's way. So I know now, like when I pull this rubber back, so what Jen's done already, she's gone round and she's trimmed the rubber off. Manufacturers recommend 50mm overlap on that. We've cut ours a little bit shorter simply because we're going to put artificial grass over the top of this. So when the grass goes on, the P-trim goes on top of that. It lifts the side of the P-trim up, so the 50mm has got a danger of hanging down below the P-trim, which we don't want to be cutting off afterwards. So what I'm going to do, she's left the back long, so I'm just going to pull it back like that. I'm going to offer this P-trim up, and I'm going to keep the the two-part gutter trim. So I'm looking at the end there, and I know that the end... Do you want to come around here, Jen, so you can see? Just watch that end of that roof, please. Right, so my two-part gutter trim, I'm going to stop it flush with the end of the roof there. But obviously if I hold it there, the right-hand side's going to want to fall down. So I'm moving myself somewhere along the middle, but I know it's right. So what I've done now... I don't know if you can see that all right. Yeah. I've got my two-part gutter trim flush with the top of the fascia, and I'll send that screw in. That's in. And then, can you see it's pivoting now? So obviously, I'm doing this as a one-man job, so if you've got somebody to help you, then it's not quite as tricky as this. So I'm going to hold that bit flush now as well. There, and then I can start to now let go a little bit of it. It's just hanging there now, it's not going to go anywhere, but obviously because I've already pre-started all my screws, I'm ready to go. I'm not faffing about. Just keep that flush with that. So this two-part gutter trim, in my opinion, is the best gutter trim you can get. I know there's another one on the market, and what they do, they want you to nail through it and nail the rubber behind it. But obviously you're nailing through the rubber. I don't know, I mean obviously they've done the homework, but in my mind, water, penetration, hole, water will transfer along the screw at some point or other, and then, you know, it's going to cause some kind of damage. So that's there, it's flush. Now rubber's hanging over. We've left about 100mm, 150mm on there. what I'm going to do now, I'm going to now put the other pieces on. This particular roof is over 5 metres long. So these, like I say, come at 2.5 lengths. So I'm going to want 2 and a bit. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put obviously two full bits on. A little bit at the end then as well. But what I'll do then, I'll cut my second part so that the joints don't fall in line with each other. There's no particular reason for that, and I don't, as far as I'm aware, they don't recommend you do it for any particular reason, but I just like to have the joint away from the joint of this. So the issue with this, I think what you're all having is not being able to clip it in properly. Now, I know you can use silicone spray to get it in. I'm spitting and foaming here. You can use silicone spray. Somebody else has been using furniture polish, which helps glide it in as well. And another fella on the group, he used washing up liquid. But a couple of things to tell you. Let me show you this, so you can see it there. Davey, you know the second part of the gutter trim?
Wasn't that about a gear?
No, the other part. There's 1 second. Let me just keep it rolling. Yeah. Yes, Davey. Cut me off a piece like that, mate. Don't throw out on this roof. Pass it up, Davey, yeah? So what I'm going to show you is going to cut off another little piece, and I'm going to show you how the 2-part gutter trim's in. The difficult part, I think, for some people is getting the first part in there and compressing the rubber up sufficiently enough so that it's trapped inside. And then what will happen as it gets colder in the year, when you hammer that part in there, because it's got like a little V. Let me draw a picture.
You can see it.
Yeah, so the part that goes in, can you see that, Jen? It's got like a little arrow on it like that. And then that clips into there and traps in there. So what will happen when it's cold, that can shatter off sometimes and break off. So what we do there, when we know it's cold, we'll get a heat gun, just like a paint stripping gun. And what we'll do, we'll just blow it across there a few times, just to soften the plastic a little bit. And obviously aid it going in. But you don't want to over soften it, because what will happen then, you'll distort the plastic. Thank you, Davey. Right, this is the second part of the gutter trim. So what happens is the rubber goes like that, it drops down there. We will then use that line there as a guideline. We'll put our Stanley knife in there and drag it along and cut the rubber to that length. Then what we'll do then, we'll tuck the rubber up there, push it up into there like that. So the rubber will go, imagine that's the roof there, the rubber will go like that, round there. It will then push up into that groove and the excess will hang there. That will trap the rubber, and then that there, like I said, that little arrow there, we'll pop that in, that'll clip in there, and then that'll trap your rubber. So what'll happen then is, your rubber will go like that, it'll disappear there, your rain will go like that, drop down there, off that ledge, and into your gutter. So that's the theory, and it does work, it's a quality item. Like I say, in my opinion, this is the best gutter trim and the best roofing system on the market. But that is just my opinion. Other roofing trims are available, but they're all crap compared to this one. In my opinion, it's getting that time of year, Jen, like just fluids start coming out of your body orifices. You know how it is. Right, so if you were to come over here, Jen, what I've done, I've completely butted that up, dead in line with that. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Don't you drop my phone down that gap, will you? Right, so I'm going to hold that tight there, butted up to that, and I'm going to move along here. Again, lift that up so it's flush with the top of the soffit. Sorry, the top of the fascia. You know I don't get my words right. Not going to over compress them because I don't want to shatter it. Right, you see that there now, Jen? Look, that's running through in line with that, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, that's what you want. So I'll work my way along. What we'll show you and all, I was just going to show you the rubber roof fitting, but what I'll show you is Jesus, what's it called? The grass. I'll show you the grass going on as well, because some of you might be interested in putting that down. Right, so that's 5 metres of 2-part gutter trim, the first part put on. So I'm a bit short now, look here. I'm a bit short, aren't I, Jen?
Yeah.
Right, so 380mm. So I'm going to put a little piece at 380mm on there, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to cut the rubber off to the right size and get the rubber in with the 2-part gutter trim successfully, and hopefully the first time. What measurement did I say, Jen?
I can't remember.
Right, you can turn that off now. Right, so what I want to do now, I want to cut this rubber to length, but what I want to do, can you see where the part clicks in there, Jen?
Yeah.
I'm going to use that as my guide. So I'm going to put this rubber down. It's a little bit hard to get it started. There we go. So I've actually just put my knife into that groove, and I'm just going to drag it along slowly. And what I'm going to do with my left hand there, I'm just pulling the rubber down and just keep pulling that along like that. And you see there, it should provide you with, if you go steady, you're not going to slip out of it basically. I'll just stop there just to show you. So that there has now cut that to a good length for me. So what's going to happen now is that 2-part gutter trim is going to pop in there. It'll push that rubber up. That rubber then will slide away from that opening, which is what you want. So I'm going to force that in there, click that in there, and then that will be perfect. That's how it works. So just to recap, I'm using the last groove on the 2-part gutter trim to use it as the gauge for cutting my rubber. I'm using my left hand just to pull the rubber down. And on another note, if you're watching this, tomorrow I'm going to do a full DVD for it. Not DVD? A VHS video as well. So what I'm going to do a full video on the raffle that one now is live. There's loads of fantastic prizes to be won in it. Tickets are £2. We've raised quite a bit of money already. What I'd like to raise is £50,000. It's for candlelighters. It's fighting cancer in children. The first prize probably equates to nearly £1,000. So about £500 in tools, maybe a bit more. And there's £500 cash, which I'm going to throw in as well. That's first prize. It's prize number 1 because prize number 2 is more monetary value. It's a brand new combi boiler with installation. The boiler was supplied by Daily Plumbing and Heating, and the installation is by Alan Hart, who does a lot of work for candle lighters as well, and he will travel anywhere in the country to install that boiler. So if you want to meet the Mr. Alan Hart, then get yourself entered in that competition and you'll be nice and warm this winter. Right, that's it. That's off. I'm happy with that now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to roll this up into a tight little ball and I'm going to throw it at Davy's head and see if we can get him. He's not actually heard me and he's not looking, so... Is Jenny coming up to look? Actually, now I'm rolling it, I'm thinking how heavy it actually is. And like, if it slaps him in the face, Davy being a kung fu master, might knock me the fuck out.
Test his reactions.
Oh yeah, see how quick he is. Are we ready? Davy, put that back down. You ready? Back?
Back.
Is that back down?
Yeah. Hey!
Right, Jen, do you want to jump back down there and we'll try and get this 2-part gutter trim in?
Alright, can I just press your axe?
Yes, of course you can.
Really fast. Agile like a bleeding gazelle.
She's like a cat, look. An old alley cat, right, Jen?
Meow.
Right, you good? Yeah? I'll just clear the snot from my nose. Right, so what I've done, Davy's passed me up this 2-part gutter trim. He's cut a piece off because I don't want my joints to fall on the joint, just because it'll aid fitting it a little bit better. So he's cut that at 1980. Right, that is the top of the 2-part gutter trim. The second part of it, that's the top, it goes up that way. That part there clips into the groove that I've just used to cut the rubber. Right, what some people are doing, and what we will tend to do when it gets really cold as well, the rubber becomes hard. It's quite soft now. I think it's about 7 degrees today. There was ice on the roof this morning. Cute ice picture. So what the rubber gets a bit stiff and it's a bit hard. I tell you what is a nightmare though. Can you see the joint in the rubber there? Can you see it, Jen? There's a joint in the rubber. If your joint falls on this, you're in trouble because it's hard as hell to get the gutter trim in. Right, so let's go for it. So if you're going to use silicone spray or furniture polish or washing up liquid, what they're doing, they're putting it on the groove there just to aid this sliding in. But it's not that cold this time of year. So what I'm going to do, no, Jen, I'm going to do it, sorry,
On your own.
Yeah, I'm going to do it on my own just so that people can see it on their own. Yeah. If you've got somebody to hold that end for you, that's all good and well, but you don't actually need it. All you've got to do, right, is get that part of gutter trim in line with the other part of gutter trim. So I'm going to sit on top, I'm going to slide it down like that, so I'm sort of like trapping the rubber as it were. And then once I get to that part, watch it, it'll pop in a minute. Look there, you see like that? Yeah? And make sure my length is good. And then what I'm going to do now, I've got the palm of my hand on the roof there, and I'm pulling the 2-part gutter trim up into that groove, and I can feel the rubber getting tight underneath. So I'm only going to concentrate on this first 12 inches, because the first 12 inches is always the most important. Right, so that there, I feel that's in a good position. I've pushed it up as tight as I can. There, did you hear that pop in? Right, so I know that's secure now. So I'm going to work my way along here. I'm going to, again, using the palm of my hand and my fingers, pull up. There's quite a bit of strength required. Just make sure that it hasn't broke. I'm kind of hoping it does break, just so I can show you that when it has broke, what it looks like. We'll see. Again, if it was really cold now, we'd put the blower along that line. You can hear that going in, can't you? So, like I say, I'm not worried about that there, because that will rectify itself in a minute. Just going to feel there and make sure it's gone in, which it has. Get right to the end now. Right, push that up. Pushed it up. I mean,
Before you knock it in, let me just get to end.
right, I'll just follow along then. Watch you don't fall, please.
Because I want to show it just going into that groove.
Yeah. Right. Right, can you see there? The top part has pushed the rubber right up into that groove there. That part there is what I want to click into there. So I'm pushing it up. I'm pushing down with my palms, pulling up with my fingers, pushing the full thing to me. There. That in? Right. So that's one piece in. Now, I'll just get Davey up to pass me another bit, and I'll show you the full lot going in, and then you know. I'll not edit this bit, so you'll know that's how it's gone in. If something goes wrong, I'll show you it going wrong as well. Davey, can I have another piece, please, mate? Full piece this time.
That one.
No, mate, the one behind. Yeah, we're on that one now, Davey, yeah?
Actually, that's not the full piece, is it?
Is that a full piece? Yeah, give me a full piece. Don't break them off, Jen. The fence has got to go back on, Jen.
Have you got a 60mm screw?
What do you do it for?
Because we weigh the camera and I want full view.
Just what's going to happen to it if you let go of it?
Nothing. It's just going to fall down. Do you want to just grab a 60mm and stick it through? That's why you shouldn't mess around whilst you're at work. Creates the boss more work.
What trim are you after, John?
You know, going up the pillar?
Yeah.
Is it the same trim that's going on the top?
No. That's the pillar trim there, look. The same what goes up the side of the door.
The stuff in your zigzag, the chain trim.
Right, the J trim pillar there, look.
If you go a
I
little
thought
up
that
top,
was for the top, Matt.
Yeah, that's the J trim, look.
Yeah, and that is that the top of it.
That's
isn't
the
it?
top, yeah.
And what about the side of the pillar?
You
On the
use that as well.
inside.
You use that.
that's
No,
right.
you don't need
that's the stuff.
You don't need to put it on until you've got that full side wall
No,
done.
I'm just seeing how big
Oh,
you
right.
can fit the fingers.
Right. So Jen's brought the fence.
I've just told them this is why you shouldn't mess around at work.
Because then what happens then? Your boss gets pissed off. So second part, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do the same again. I've rolled it down, I slid it down. You see the gap there?
Yeah.
I'm just going to slide it up to that. Right, I'm now going to force that in. Pushing down with my palm, pulling up with my fingers. That's gone in there, nice. Heard that going. Right, see there now, look, see what's happened there? That's dropped down past the rubber. So I'm just going to pop that in like that. Pull that back up like that. You see I'm flipping it towards me? Popping it in. And get it in the van. Right, so there where my finger is the joint in the first part of the two-part gutter trim. So this is the part where we want to make sure that part there goes in the second part successfully. It feels like it has. What I will do when it gets colder, I will do another video of how we put a rubber roof on below 5 degrees. So I know that's going to start an influx of carrying on, saying you can't do it after 5 degrees. Well, I've done it, I insulate them and I put them to bed and wrap them up nice and warm and they stay good. Right, so that's going along there. It's not the easiest thing to do, it just requires a little bit of a technique. But if you follow what I said, you'll be able to do it quite easily. Right, can you see the end there, Jen? Got a gap, haven't we?
Yep.
Yeah? Right, sometimes there you go. See, it's just slid down, lovely.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm going to slide it down there now. Measure my end bit here. Davey will cut me that, and then that will be your 2-part gutter trim.
Davey, get your second piece of
You know what?
trim.
You just passed me, Davey. $8.95, Davey. Right. So, to recap, your first part, your 2-part gut trim, screwed with 60mm screws, straight through the fascia, flush with the roof. Your second part of the gutter trim, tuck the rubber down, push down with the palm of your hand, but at the same time I'm pulling up with my fingers. So what I'm doing, look, I'm going like that, yeah, pushing down, pulling up, and when you think it's in a good position, then whether you're left-handed or right-handed, you come from that side or that side, and you just go bump, 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 like with the palm of your hand, and tap it in. Just give it a little tap it in. Yeah. I'm thinking Davy's mismeasured this. What do you think? What did I say? 8.95?
8.95.
I might have mismeasured it. 8.95. 1,410. Right, has he passed me the wrong piece? Davey, have you given me the off cut?
Should be shorter.
13, 14, 13. What is it all together? We need 12 outside.
Yeah, hold on. What's going on, John? Right, Jen. You did pass me the wrong side. Right, so last piece now. Now I know that I've got my little joint somewhere along there. Let me feel where it is. There. So when I get to that point there, I want to make sure that I'm good. Palm of hand, fingers pulling it up. Jimmy Mitre, input please. I know you do this daily. And the only thing I think me and Jimmy Mitre disagree on is the contact adhesive around the perimeter. But that's a story for another day. It's particularly challenging, this one. There's a trellis all the way around, so we took it off. Jen's brought that bit off down there because she didn't like it. But that is your 2-part gutter trim. So what'll happen now is your water will go like that. It'll run down there, it'll hit that drip, it'll fall into there, it'll go down there, and it'll drop into the gutter, which will sit there, and it'll run away. But that's it, 2-part gutter trim. It's from Perma Roof. It's the best 2-part gutter trim. In fact, it's the only 2-part gutter trim. It's the best gutter trim on the market for rubber roofs. So what we're going to do now, this rubber roof has been down for some time now, because we were waiting for soffit and stuff like that. We've only managed to get back onto it today, so me and Jen are going to clean this now. We're going to get the grass up, and if the grass don't fit, I'm going to have a small heart attack. Jen, and we'll see what we can do with that. Okay, so we'll show you the grass as well. I'll show you how I'm going to trim the grass and how we trim it without cutting into the roof as well. Now we can get a nice neat fit round. Okay. Right, love it or hate it. I know some of you actually think it's great and other people think what the hell. But it does look nice. If you look at your bedroom and you've got this big black expanse, if you put the AstroTurf on it, then it looks green, it looks lovely, and it'll stay like this forever. Also, it will enhance the life of your roof. It's rubber backed. You can see the holes in it there. Can you see them, Jen? Yep. So the water drains through the holes and runs down and runs onto the rubber and then runs into the gutter. So we got this from Yorkshire Artificial Lawns in Huddersfield. Now when I went, I told him what size I want, and the bloke, because they're really helpful there, he's a really nice chap as well, and it says, oh, I've got a roll here, it's exactly the right size you want. But putting it up on the roof, I'm now thinking that this may not be big enough. If it's not big enough, then I believe John will be taking this home and I'll have to go get another one. Right, so we know it's long enough. This roof, it's this rubber rather, it's a good quality grass. This rubber grass roof. Right, this grass is a good quality grass. They tell me, I don't know how true this is, but they tell me at the grass place that the good quality only comes in 4 metre wide strips. So if you want it wider than that, you're going to have to join it, which is possible, but the 4 metre ones are the best quality ones apparently. So what you want, he told me as well, you see how it's laid down like that, Jen?
Yeah.
Right, so he says as you look out of your house, you want to be looking in that direction, because if you're looking in that direction, it looks plasticky, but if you're looking in that direction at it, it looks like real grass, which it does once we've buffed it all up like that as well. But as the sun gets on it, obviously because it's like not real grass, it's plastic, it stands up like that in the sun, which I'm sure real grass does as well. But it looks fantastic. It feels like real grass, it looks like real grass. If you look at it, look, looks like there's little dead bits inside it. Can you see it? Yeah. Right, so what I'm trying to do now, obviously I'm digressing and trying to trying to prevent the inevitable. I'm going to roll it out and see if it actually fits. We know we're good there. We've got it in some sort of position where we're happy with it. So what I'm going to do now is roll it out and see where we go with it. But I won't lie, I'm not overconfident. Right, you can see there now I'm starting to run off. So Jen's just going to hold that corner. I'm just going to pull it. We will have to, there we go. We will have to rearrange it once we've got it into a place. But I want to try and get it somewhere right. See again, look, it's running off. Tell me when it's right, Jen. Are we good? Ish?
Yep.
We're good-ish?
Perfect.
Right.
Oh, if you send it over a little bit more, then it'll counteract, yeah. Yep, perfect.
Right, I don't know if there's a cardboard roll in this, then we might be in trouble.
There is a cardboard roll.
Oh, the tension! Are we all that way down there?
Beautiful. Look at that. Do you want to show them how much is excess?
Right, so
I can't really just jump up like that.
there we go. Maybe 400 or 500 excess. So we now have a beautiful lawn. What we'll do now, I'm going to position this in the correct place. I'm obviously happy it actually fits. Right, looking at the back of the roof, what we want, what we're going to finish up with rather, we want this. You can see the rubber backing on it there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to sit the rubber back in so it's about 10mm back from the edge. The reason behind that is I want to put some adhesive on, and I'm going to show you how to put the adhesive on and why we put it on in the way we put it on as well. Because obviously water's going to drain through there. We want the water to go away, so we don't want to create a dam. So, I mean, you can see it's running off a bit down there, Jen, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get it in some kind of position where we're happy with it. I'm about 20mm off there, Jen. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pull it a little bit to me. Right, so that's hanging over. I'm just going to look now and just peel back the grass, and I can just see the rubber, which is what we want. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I don't know if we want to pull that forward 10mm, Jen, what do you think? Yeah? Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull it forward 10mm, just to expose a little bit more of that rubber.
I mean, that's exposed 10mm there, but...
Yeah, we'll pull it. I'll pull it forward a little bit then, yeah. Right, so that there now is the position I want it in. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you how we're going to trim it off to the right size as well, because obviously that's the edge of the roof there. My rubber's hanging over approximately 25-30mm there or something like that. So I'm going to trim it back and show you how I'm going to trim it. I'm going to show you how we're going to step it up as well like that, without the need for one of them brushes that they use. It's a bit of a ball ache, but it makes it look like real grass there. That looks like real grass on it. Can you see from that side?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's lovely. Even smells like carpet. Right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go cut off that edge there. I'm going to cut off the surplus, so we've got about maybe that much where it's hanging over. Obviously it's not that much there, but wherever, we don't want any more than that so that we can work with it properly. And then I'm going to show you how to cut it off with a level and a Stanley knife. And I'm going to show you how to bond it down as well, and the reason why we bond it in the way we do. Right, so we're going to cut the rubber to length. Obviously we've cut that bit there. I'm just going to show you how we're going to cut it. It's too long. We want it to be flush with the end of the roof. So what we're going to do, the easiest way I've found to do this, we're going to put that level, we're going to hold it flush with the end of the fascia. Can you see that there, David?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm flush with the fascia. What we're going to do now is just pull it back about 3 or 4mm, yeah? You back, Jen? Going to clamp it, and the reason why I pulled it back is because that grass now is going up at a height like that. So when I cut that off there, take the level out and drop it down, it will be longer than the cut, if that makes sense, because you've gained that extra few millimetres on there. That's why we pulled the level back. So Jen's holding that level there. I've got the level clamp there now. I'm now using the Stanley knife, and I'm using the edge of the level to run down as my straight edge. Obviously, putting a new blade in would have been ideal for this video, but there you go. So I'm going to keep doing that. Jen's now going to... I've got my elbow on the level there holding it. Jen's holding it. She's now going to swap sides with me. Get to the other side and keep the level clamped to the roof so it doesn't slip, because obviously you don't want a short carpet. Right, so there we go. So that's along there like that. We'll take the level out now, and what will happen now there, you can see now, that is cut flush with the fascia. So when the P-trim goes over that, it will compress the grass down, it will trap the rubber like that as well and fix it there. Tidy that up lovely. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go around the full roof and I'm going to cut the grass rather, to that sort of extent there, and to cut it flush with the roof. And then we're going to put the P-trims on, but before I put the P-trims on, I'm going to bond the grass down to the rubber, because we don't want no wind uplift whatsoever. Now the only danger we're going to have of wind uplift is on the end here, because there we will mechanically fix it with the P-trim, which will hold it down, but we're also going to bond that as well, and I'm going to show you what technique we're going to use to bond it and what we're going to use to bond it as well.
Yeah, makes a good diagram, though.
I don't like a diagram. A picture speaks 1,000 words, Adam, doesn't it?
Is that what the same is?
I think so. I don't know. Right, we're going to use CT1. We originally used grass glue, which was basically some kind of green silicone to stick it down, but the CT1 is a lot better quality, so we're going to move forward using CT1. It is expensive, it's probably about £12 a tube, I believe. The reason why we're using grey is because we're using grey to seal around the windows. It doesn't matter because you're never going to see it what colour it is, but that's it basically. So if you imagine this is the roof, okay, that's the front of the roof. This is the back of the roof where the gutter goes, yeah? Okay, so that's there's grass on the roof. So that is the fall of the roof. So all water runs that way, into the gutter, down the fall pipe and away. So we still want our water to run that way. So mechanically, on the side, the front and that side there, we're going to put a P-trim. So that will stop any wind uplift. But I'm also going to glue it as well. But my danger of wind uplift is on the back there, where there's no actual mechanical fixing, no P-trim. So what we don't want to do is create a dam. If we put a line of silicone along there, the water's going to come down there, it's going to hit the silicone, have nowhere else to go apart from build up on the roof and eventually seep back up through the carpet and find its way down, which we don't want. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put stripes of silicone along the edge like that, and then any water will run down, it will hit the silicone, run off the silicone and into the gutter, which is where we want it to go. I'll also do the same down the sides and along the front. So there will not be one continuous bead of silicone, there will be lots of beads of silicone all running at an angle, which will allow the water to penetrate the grass, go down, hit the silicone where it meets the silicone, if at all, and run away. We won't be gluing it in the middle there whatsoever. What happens when the sun hits this, it stretches. When it stretches, obviously it expands because of the heat. It will meet the P-trim. So what will happen sometimes in the summer, you will get ripples in the grass, but it doesn't adversely affect it whatsoever, and when it gets cold it will shrink back again and return back to its normal state. So that is your grass roof. Like I say, love it or hate it, that's what's happening with it. This customer wants it, I personally would have it on mine as well, and Jenny's just sent Davey out to grass the footwell of the van. So we'll see how that one goes, although he did tell us he's cut it all up into square pieces and put it in the skin. So we'll see how he manages with that. But what I'm going to do, so I'm going to silicone it with CT1 in the stripe formation I've shown you, and then we're going to put the P-trims on, and then hopefully we can finish this roof because it's been ongoing too long. If you're getting a rubber roof and you're watching this at the moment, you'll know there is no rubber in the country, or there certainly isn't in Yorkshire or in Newcastle, because we're in Newcastle the other day, weren't we? And there were no rubber there either. So unfortunately some of our jobs are now under tarpaulins and visqueen because we can't get rubber anywhere at the moment, although we are trying. How's it gone, Davey?
Not good.
Not good?
I don't know how we're going to piece them together. She wants it all.
She wanted it in one piece, to be honest with you, didn't she?
Yeah.
It's not looking bad, David.
She wants it all filling in there perfectly.
Right, she wants a lot, doesn't she? I don't think she's going to get what she wants, David, do you?